Hi, my name is Sun and I'm a tutor from SJAC. Today I prepare a video reviewing rhetorical terms from AP English Language and Competition exam. So hopefully this video can help you to prepare for an exam, and also I pick out the terms that were actually confusing for my students, my tutor students. So these terms are not too easy for you as well, so you can review and refresh your mind or hopefully learn. So let's go ahead and start the review.
So the first term that I want to go over is allegory. Allegory is a device using character or a story element symbolically to represent an abstract concept in addition to literal meaning. Like, let's think about the example of George Orwell. So, Animal Farm, there is characters that are just beyond their, pig is not just simply pig, but represents like the actual life abstraction concept of tyranny, desire, greedy, and so on and so forth. Next one is ambiguity. Ambiguity has multiple meanings there, and either intentional or unintentional of a word or a phrase, sentence, or passage. So, for example, I put a couple of sentences in here, like her parents watered the flowers, yet they died. Right? It just literally has a meaning of they died, but then it could be another meaning, right? Such as like, something could happen to the flowers. It's not nutritious enough, so on and so forth. Same gave Bobby's baseball glove. Again, this means beyond this literal sentence, because maybe the baseball glove was very important for Sam. The giving it has an intentional meaning of something else. I shot a bear in my pajamas. Again, March moved to June. Girl sleeps in by many. All of these are ambiguity examples because their multiple meaning exists in each of the sentences. Next one is anaphora. Anaphora is one of the devices of repetition in which the same expression or words, it could be a phrase, is repeated at the beginning of two or more lines or clauses or sentences. It is used to create a memorable, powerful effect. So think about this. Like whenever you think about repetition of the sentences, we think about Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. We all know that I have dream is repeated each of the paragraphs. Right? So that's a very good example of anaphora. Next one is aphorism. I'm sure that many of you already heard about this, but it's basically short sentence or statement of the known authorship which expresses a general truth or a moral principle. If the authorship is unknown, the statement is generally considered to be a folk proverbs. So aphorism is very important that it's known authorship. So aphorism can be a memorable summation of the author's point. Right? So I put this one in here as well, but then really famous one is, I think, therefore I am. As you know, it's a very well-known statement by Descartes, or like people only see what they are prepared to see. That's another very famous known phrase from Emerson. So let's go on to the next one. It's a very tiny, but it's apostrophe. It's one of the very confusing concepts for many of my students because apostrophe, we all know what it is as a punctuation. But do you know what that means in terms of rhetorical term? It's a figure of speech that directly addresses an absent or imaginary person or personifies abstractions such as liberty or love. It addresses to someone or something that cannot be answered. The effect is to give the vent to or display intense emotion which can no longer held back. Right? So let's think about the couple of the examples. For example, value of a wisdom that feathered not away with time, virtue ever flourishing, that cleanses its possessor all venom. Again, it's an expression, like you vent emotion, very intense, that can no longer hold back. Right? But then it's not like you want an answer from it either. Okay? Because you are directing your speech to something that's absent or imaginary. Okay? So like something, the main character is venting towards something that's an abstraction, imaginary person. Okay? So it's a very important rhetorical term that many of the students don't know. Next one is ascendanton. Ascendanton consists of meaning conjunctions between words, phrases, or clauses. So many of my students will complain like, oh, this looks like a grammatical mistake, but I'll be like, no, it's not. Right? This can give the effect of the unpremeditated multiplicity of an extemporaneous rather than labor account. right? So these kind of lists can be more emphatic, more putting emphasis than simply having the conjunction, right? So I came, I saw, I concurred. As you can notice that these are the lists, but no conjunction existed. And it sounds very, very emphasis in there, sounds very strong, grandioso, and so on and so forth. Next one is Kaismus. Kaismus has a meaning of crisscross in Greek. It's designated based on a Greek letter like chi, which is written as X. So Kaismus is a figure of speech in which two successive phrases or clauses are parallel in syntax, but reverse in order of the analogous words. So for example, I meant what I said and I said what I meant. It's not the men in my life, it's a life in my men. Did you notice that? It's crisscross. The phrases, they are parallel in syntax, but reverse in order of analogous words, right? Just exactly what I said. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Colloquial. Colloquial has a meaning of like slang or informal speech or writing, like a conversation, right? Not generally acceptable for formal writings, but this kind of colloquialism gives the work like conversation a familiar tone. So if they're trying to create a mood, more relaxed, more informal, then they will use colloquial. And sometimes, often cases, colloquial will be written in local or regional dialect, right? For example, in the southern states, it will be written as y'all. So I do want to pause for here so we can go over the next term in the next video. Thank you so much for watching this first video. I am going to upload the second video right after this. Please subscribe, and second video will be right up. Thank you so much and hope you guys see you soon.